EVs are flaming death traps that can catch fire at any time. While some articles, news, and videos will tell you that EVs are less likely to burst into flames than ICEs, the reality is quite different. EVs have chemicals and parts that make them combustible anywhere. Roads, garages, parking lots, assembly lines, and some of the places you'd least expect. EVs have caught fire everywhere. These are some of the most recent EV fires that'll leave you with a burning desire to avoid EVs for good. EV fires are difficult to put out. One of the first arguments that many EV marketers bring up when defending EV fires is that they are a lot less likely to happen. If you're wondering, someone checked that. Research was carried out in Sweden and Australia that proves that EVs are less likely to catch fire than ICEs. These results are somewhat debatable as vehicle fires usually happen from accidents. Well, except for some EV fires, but more on that later. There's also the fact that ICEs outnumber EVs by a lot, and the EVs are still new tech when compared to ICEs, so there isn't enough data on long-term fire risks as batteries degrade. One thing that is not debatable, though, is the amount of heat EV fires generate. Those babies burn. EV fires can reach 5,000 degrees in Fahrenheit, compared to ICEs, which usually reach 11,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Why does this matter? It took firefighters 7 hours to successfully put out an EV fire that happened on 8th March 2024 in Hackensack, New Jersey. The fire was started by an Audi Q5 SUV, and it got so bad that a firefighter was injured by the inferno. The unique nature and source of their fire means that fire departments need special training, equipment, guidance, and a lot of water to put out EV fires. In May 2022, firefighters needed more than 3 hours and 40,000 gallons of water to extinguish a Lincoln Aviator after it caught fire on a ramp to the Clara Barton Parkway in Cabin John. Compared to ICEs, which need only 500 to 1,000 gallons of water, EVs need almost 40 times that. Imagine one of these EV fires break out in the middle of nowhere, miles from the nearest fire hydrant. It's not like firefighters can just hook up a hose and blast away, or a small-town fire department with just a couple of trucks at their disposal. They're suddenly faced with this monster of a fire that just won't quit. It's not your everyday house fire or fender bender they're used to dealing with. In situations like these, firefighters are in a real pickle. They've got limited water, maybe not enough equipment, and they're up against a fire that's behaving in ways they might not be familiar with. It's like bringing a water pistol to a bonfire. They're outgunned and potentially out of their depth. The fiery problem with EVs lies in their very power. To reach and outperform ICE speeds on highways, EVs are packed with a lot of energy in their batteries. EV battery packs consist of thousands of small lithium-ion cells. These cells contain the key components for energy storage. To create a battery pack, these cells are assembled and encased in incredibly durable materials, such as titanium. The pack is then securely bolted to the vehicle's undercarriage. The design aims to make the battery nearly inaccessible and shield it from damage even in severe collisions. But overprotection can be bad. If an EV battery is bad, damaged, or just fails as they tend to do, one of the many lithium-ion cells in the battery pack can short-circuit, heating the battery pack. When the battery gets hot enough, it starts a fire in one of the cells. Once the fire starts, it can trigger a reaction called thermal runaway. Thermal runaway causes the fire to spread, creating a long-lasting and frighteningly hot flame that's hard to put out because the source is so inaccessible. Reignition concerns. When an ICE catches fire, once the firefighters do their thing and put it out, that's usually the end of the story. But with electric cars, it's a whole different ballgame. On April 10, 2022, in Nashua, New Hampshire, a brand new Tesla Model S lost control and struck a tree at high speed, igniting the battery pack. While firefighters were able to put out the initial fire after several hours, the same car rekindled in a tow yard a full 6 days later. A chance of reignition is one of the reasons EV fires never fail to make the news. Lithium-ion batteries don't need external fuel to burn, so if you don't keep an eye on them even after putting them out with water, there's a chance of reignition as a result of thermal runaway. Imagine a TV crew filming a fire department successfully putting out an EV fire, only to have the crew come back for a second bite of the same accident. Easy headliner. Risk of spontaneous combustion. On 2nd August 2024, an EV battery explosion destroyed 140 cars and left 23 people hospitalized in Cheongga, Incheon. It took the Incheon Fire Department 8 hours to successfully put out the resulting flames from what was a Mercedes-Benz EQE. The car was parked in an underground parking lot and was not being charged at the time of the explosion. This is only one of the several incidents that have occurred despite advancements in EV battery tech. On 19 December 2023, a battery fire in GM's factory in Detroit caused $1 million in damages and required almost 100 firefighters. On 7 January 2024, an EV in Colorado burst into flames and led to a full-scale garage blaze while it was parked. There have been multiple spontaneous fire accidents on assembly lines, and even more while these EVs are charging, as seen in Oslo, where an electric bus caught fire. Just as we explained, modern EV battery packs hold enough energy to propel a vehicle for hundreds of miles at highway speed. If internally defective, though, some of the hundreds of thousands of cells that make up a lithium-ion battery pack may release the energy they're storing, expanding and giving off heat, leading to thermal runaway, and an EV fire almost out of nowhere. These vehicles pose a significant safety risk, and as more people adopt EVs, the amount of damage they'll wreak will only increase. However, car makers keep implementing various measures to prevent EV fires. For example, General Motors has designed its Ultium battery packs with cells divided into multiple modules. These modules are spaced out to enhance cooling during normal use and reduce the chance of thermal runaway affecting the entire pack. Additionally, the Ultium platform features a wireless battery monitoring system that identifies internal problems before they can cause significant failures. Other EV manufacturers have other systems that try to mitigate the risk of EV fires, but they remain a serious problem. They pose a risk, especially during shipping, where a single EV fire can destroy goods worth millions of dollars. Cost of EV fires. The perceived risk of battery fires drives insurance premiums for EVs higher than ICEs for obvious reasons. Whether or not they occur less frequently than ICEs, they do occur, and they currently have a bad reputation. If an EV is declared a total loss, there are costs associated with salvaging and disposing of the vehicle. Proper disposal of lithium-ion batteries is crucial due to environmental and safety concerns, which can increase costs. There's also the cost and scarcity of EV repairs, especially since the damage is usually to the most expensive part of the vehicle, the battery. EV batteries are expensive, and damage to the battery pack can lead to the vehicle being declared a total loss, even if the rest of the car is relatively undamaged. This can impact how insurers calculate payouts and premiums. Due to the likelihood of reignition, faulty EVs have to be kept at least 15 feet away from other cars to prevent damage, even in repair garages. While it doesn't feel like much of a problem right now, it could get serious if people adopt EVs as much as Musk expects. More EVs in repair shops would take up more space. In January 2021, a Tesla Model 3 exploded in an underground residential parking garage in Shanghai, China. While no one was injured, the fire resulted in significant damage to the owner's residence and surrounding structures. EV fires can cause collateral damage to property, such as garages, homes, or other vehicles. This can result in additional claims and higher overall costs for insurers.